Right. I think I'm on. I hope I'm on. I think I myself on another window here. Just like a Tesla here. Yeah, I am. Welcome, folks. Welcome, Lord Sinatra, the only guy in here so far. I don't know if you're still hanging with me. I have an extended weekend. We've been making the best of it, coming on here, and I'm gonna do my best to do English the Cure cover here. I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's gray, and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday. I'm online. There we go. No extended intros, clips, all that. I'm keeping it close by. I rewatched my old stream, man, the last one I did, and I was like, man, I did an amateur move where I would do the whole highlight your comments, Lucius from Lord Sinatra, but I wouldn't read them. I wouldn't read them on the thing, and whenever I'm listening to a stream, I'm like doing it kind of radio podcast style. A lot of times there's not like much visuals going on. You can really talking head, or in my case, it is a talking avatar. Oh, Gargoyle, throwing up his eggplant. Yeah, buddy. Lord Sinatra approves with some applause. Throws some attention to him. I hear a fan. Yeah, man, AC running, dude. It is. I mean, I'm sure it's hot as hell where you're at, brother. But it is like nonstop 90s to 100s during the daytime. We're lucky if it dips below 80s at night, man. It is hot as fuck right now. The helicarrier. Let me try to throw up some like sound barrier here, man, real quick. The mic is just a generic laptop mic that picks up everything, man, and it probably makes me sound a little robotic too. Although, cool effect that isn't easy to just duplicate, correctly. I wish I was on helicarrier, man. They probably have better AC than I got. At least adjust your mic. Oh Jesus, is that bad? Hold on. Let me move the laptop over. That might make things better for us. Unfortunately, it's taken me 2.5 minutes to get to that point. Who knows how many potential viewers I could have lost? Oh, so detrimental. I'm sure that's better. I don't have a test function on that, unfortunately. That'd be nice. Nice little thing to have. Hear yourself back before you go live. That would be nice. Or is it? And I just don't know about it. I'm novice level at this stuff. Committing all sorts of cardinal sins. Like I said, I wasn't reading those things last time. I just did this dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I skipped over the whole reading part. I was engaging you guys. I figured, you're there, and what's better than me doing that? It's telling me no one's watching right now, like as far as the eyeball count on StreamYards. But you guys are typing. I assume you're watching. I hope so. I didn't have a whole lot to go in on. I just kind of was like, reminding you guys in case another one of you just wants to unsub. I went down in subscriber count, but it doesn't surprise me. You remind people you exist, then you're not a regular. You might get cut. You might. Sinatra, hey man, how's it going, man? I wish I made more progress on your thing. I'm excited to do it. It's just I feel overloaded, man. I know you're not in a rush, but I really want to do good on that. I don't know if you ever saw that recent Oxmal kind of like realistic picture of him, but that was kind of geared towards being maybe worked in. But yeah, what we discussed, I'm just gonna try to move forward on that. But a lot of stuff on the plate, and I got birthday celebrations coming up, and so I'm just coming in, checking in with the fan base. Yo. No worries, Lou, he says. Thank you, Lord Sinatra. Not to mention, I have like I think bigger eyes than appetite, or what is it? Your eyes too big for your mouth, kind of thing. But more ambition than I have like free time and ability to accomplish. Like I'd love to do animation stuff, and like every now and then. Lately, I've heard some funk tracks I'd love to do. I think would pair up well to like a Cash Grab 2 thing. Except I have no idea about what we're working on story, um, what it would be, building up to, where we start at, where we end. Cecil says, or he has not said to me directly, but he's mentioned it on the live stream, so it's sort of in the mixture that he will have me on a backup story, and I think he's wary of doing anything that might uh, bring on any sort of lawsuit or litigation. And I understand. I don't mind. I'll be willing to shift gears, but I'd still love to like the way Scotty, um, Kelsey Shannon. What wasn't Richard? I think is how they do it down in the South. Like hype up a name that's just like a regular name, but making it seem more uh, high class than what it really is. Richard. Instead of Richard, but it's spelled Richard. Scotty Richard, who is doing Dirt Run Bug, which looks really awesome. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures on that. Uh, if I was more prepped, like I had an outline of what my show's going to be and all that, I could bring up the pictures on that. If you back Cash Grab, it was definitely in the update stuff, man. It looked really good. It's kind of like really early stuff and then just really last minute stuff, or the latest things up, and like it looked like a work of love, which is the best thing you'd say about a project, I guess, is that it is a labor of love and it has that care and attention to it. I'm looking at throwing the link at somebody here, so I'm monologuing a little bit. It's tough. I only got one monitor, one screen, and I kind of wonder what's going on back with you guys in a way. I have to leave it and do other stuff to do it. I'm hard to hear still, or was that just a couple minutes ago? Oh yeah. Yeah, that was on. El Doggerel says, "I will always remember you, Lucius, at the time you had Shay on the casting couch." I did not actually have her on the casting couch. I just said she could do the casting couch if she wanted to. Like not everyone has that open door, and I feel like that's a compliment in a way to a lady, regardless. Like if you want to. I'm not saying it's the only option we got, but it's an open option we got. That was on Ink Spots. It was at Monday. So, man, a year plus ago. that was not my best moment, my shining moment, but it happened. I remember it too, man. I remember you kind of you kind of did the setup, and I spiked that volleyball down, man, on the other side of the court. Good times. I did do a quick little like looky-loo on stuff on Indiegogo. Indiegogo. Jesus Christ. I've had some drinks, guys. I was prepped to do. It's 5:00 where I'm at. Stream. That would have been about 4 hours ago, but yeah, about 4 hours ago. But I think it's going on. It was loading up, and then I was like, you know what? Friday night. What can I do Friday night for? And I'm thinking about doing Wednesday regular. I don't know anymore. Like I don't feel like there's a safe time anymore. I was thinking about just doing regular posting and everything. Like just every day, come in, see what happens, who turns up. Maybe it develops into something, probably not. But yeah, one of the things that sparking my interest was your boy Zach's situation right now, wherein there's all these outstanding orders, and there's his new knife hands campaign, and I was kind of one of the things I'm thinking about doing my own book, all that, and the thing that probably makes my ass pucker up the most, my balls clinch in tight to me, um, would be launching a campaign and fulfilling it. Making sure that all the I's dot, all the T's are crossed. It just gets done. Art wise, not so worried. I don't think I'm particularly the strongest when it comes to colors and text or lettering, stuff like that. And you can get a letter pretty easy. There's some platters out there that don't cost like a ton. So if you do feel at least semi-confident, you can do like coloring on your own. But having somebody do your colors, that'll eat into your things. I kind of consider color sort of what an inker was back in the day on most books. They're adding like a flavor to it. A lot of art is kind of open-ended, and I think there's sort of like a marriage between the penciler and the colorist, where they're putting in the definition on something when that happens. The inker is just kind of doing outlines and sort of having this higher knowledge of where to put themselves in and where to take themselves out, which is a talent in and of its own, believe it or not. Knowing where you need it and where you not need it. And that's the tricky part, is getting everybody on the same page where it all works together. Anywho, going on a long tangent there. Your boy Zach, he was like, oh, I got this knife hand thing I'm making. I know I haven't fulfilled any of my old orders, all that. But I have this knife hand thing up, and I think he took a day to write, or 2 days to write, is what he said, and it doesn't instill the most confidence in me. This pandemic book is Ballad of Node book. Both went pretty quick for him as far as like an idea, concept, and writing phase. And they also went really quick for me as far as the reading phase. I was sold on Kelsey Shannon's art, The Ballad of No. I thought Pandemic might have more to it than it was. It was just kind of like a glorified chase, really. And I think the comic book was like $15, might have been $10 with shipping. I can't remember. I remember looking up fairly recently. It wasn't expensive, but for like a 20-page, 30-page comic book or whatever it was, it went really fast. And I kind of felt like, okay, well, I wish there was a little more content to it. The Jawbreakers line I've defended, and yet I've had people like kind of come at me, didn't really dig it. And I was like, oh, I kind of liked it. It's like a flash flood of ideas and like clearly past storylines that weren't going to get plotted out in the current one, but left it kind of open for more stuff. And if you read it, spoilers, please spoilers. Most of the team dies in the last book in the God King storyline, which I actually really liked. I actually thought, there's consequences. It's not straight up winners, on the team and stuff. Like, people have to make sacrifices and take losses. Even in, I think it was Lost Souls, I think in that book, Devil Dog died tripping on one of the psionic mines or whatever. And at any rate, he has Expendables Go to Hell, Jawbreakers 3, Impossible Stars, a number of like outstanding books that have not been fulfilled. And then he puts this one out there, and it's kind of like, I think like it's all about the communication. And sometimes there's a course of communication you take, which is no communication. You could have just been making this book, had this book in your back pocket, and just spring load it on to people. Boom, check it out, Knife Hand, completely done. You know, everyone who backs this book will get it shipped out right after this campaign's finished. Probably would have been an awesome feeling for people, especially the people that have been waiting and all that. Like, you know, just like have a really pop quick thing, which is what I experienced, you know, in his books. Pandemic, Battle of the No, and Jawbreakers. I didn't get the initial Lost Souls. I got the revised Lost Souls, and those all were like lickety split, like turned around on his part, and the art looks okayish. I find the whole thing a little washed out, and I'm looking at this like beat wise, and I'm like, man, yeah, I'm seeing myself tearing through this pretty quick with what it is. You know, unless there's like more to tie you down, and it's supposed to be completely speechless, right? It's just dialogue free because he doesn't speak; he's a mute. But it's like, so just because he's mute, he's not deaf. He just has like his own little, you know, self-inflicted vow of silence. It doesn't mean nobody else is talking. Um, you know, I don't think some people write really hard in the art style. I kind of dig it. It's more the like the watercolor washed out coloring of it. Like there's no really hard crisp colors on anything. Like the black and white version of it's pretty stark, but the rest of it kind of fairly you know. And I guess yeah, he's saying, you know, silent interlude, GI Joe. But you know, it's to have a really good silent comic book. It's really crafty. Like you tell me, you write it in a day. I don't have the greatest confidence in that you pulled it off in the fashion that, you know. I'll be returning to this book over and over and over again. And I'm a huge fan of Yoji Shikawa, Metal Gear Solid concept and promo work, and it kind of gets nailed in the image here. But I don't feel like it's transitioned on this so much. It's a little more gritty. I don't mind that either. But again, like this was something I think would have made a better impact under you know, just like no, like surprise, man. Like my live stream surprise, I'm live, kind of thing. I don't really. I assume we're going to get all those books. I don't think he's going to leave us hanging for years on end on it. He just got caught up on something or the other. But now I'm going to go back to you guys because, like I said, I only got one monitor, and all I'm looking at right now is the actual campaign page rather than the live stream. I'm trying to stop share this. Did you do it? No. There we go. Boom. Let's see here. Gargoyle says there was that one time on your stream I was unlisted. Oh man, well, I wish I was too. You know, you got some hookups, man. Congrats. I hope it was at least a good trip. That's the most I can go for. 15. I'm not sure what that was. I'm done. Back, Zach. Yeah, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not on the payroll. I understand. I wouldn't necessarily. I don't back them. I like some books. I think it's a cool experiment, man. I think every comic book, in a way, should work on this level, where the art carries the whole story through. At least, you know, like if you didn't know the language, or you just saw, you know, the pictures, the interplay, all that, you could kind of at least get something of the gist of it. That I think should always be in play. But to just completely drop text and really, really sell the rest of it, man, like it's just kind of like you need. I honestly feel like all comic books or graphic media should have like more than just like the first layer of things. You know, there should be background elements, and a number of things will work this into it. You know, there's the character design, the wardrobe, the setting, the lighting, everything is like conveying mood, all the rest of it. You know, that's probably always going to be there, but you know, you can pack like information and stuff like I think on like really great examples like Back to the Future is one of my favorite films to go into, just because there's like things that take place in like 1 minute or less, but present a lot of information that's important later on in the movie, and the movie kind of ties into it, but it's not just like it's more making sure you draw the conclusion than hammering it over the head until the nails in, and you just keep beating it in. Like the clock tower, where essentially it's all like I think in the first 5 minutes, Marty McFly's like to school, he meets up with his girlfriend, and then there's like some person's like save the clock tower, hands out a pamphlet, and he's just like shoved it in his back pocket, like, yeah, thanks, lady. You ruined the moment with me and my girl. That was kind of the takeaway in that moment, but later on, huge plot point for the whole thing for him to get back to the future, and that they need this lightning strike event, and he has an actual record of when it happened, where it happened, all that. That is important, and it was kind of like one of those things where you sort of notice it. It was sort of not something to pay too much attention to in the moment either. Like it wasn't like highlighter, bold, italics, like over the top emphasis on that whole thing. There was all sorts of moments in the beginning of that film that just like tied into him going back in time and his changes he makes when he finally moves forward in time too. So stuff like that, I think is just like little background elements. It's kind of BC elements in the actual frames or plot elements that move the whole thing forward and add more to it. And I don't get the sense of that from the silent knife hand thing here. I think it closed one of my tabs, but I did happen to find also as one of my before the stream search throughs of Indiegogo here, Wonder Island, which I think Boy Island is loosely based on. And man, I mean, the face of this guy, it looks like Toon Link from Wind Waker and Smash Games Toon Link character. Like, at least as faces go, I'm pretty sure other people have like drawn likenesses to adventure stories and things like that. I don't know. I don't know. Probably looking all back, but it looks alright. It looks alright as far as the project goes. But I don't know. It just kind of came up out of nowhere. I don't have enough time to watch everything that was coming out. There is a digital edition. I like that. I like a digital edition now. Number of products are overseas, and number of products are just like book and bells and whistles. And I don't really like care for all the bells and whistles. I backed I don't know how many projects now, and I don't know what to do with all that excess stuff. Like I'm hanging on to original packaging, and it's just taking up more and more space because I just don't have a new designated spot for it all. I could throw it in a box or something like that. I'm more interested in just having something I can put onto a bookshelf, or not have to worry about it at all. Digital edition, download it and look at it at your pleasure. A digital edition also, art-wise, I've noticed this with some comic books I've read online and then bought like a bound copy of, especially double-page spreads. The stuff that's in the middle of the page, oftentimes they don't print that with that in mind and take consideration to keep it from being completely buried in it. And the other tricky thing is the registration on anything printed at all. So most of the time on printing presses, there's color separations, like in your inkjet printers and everything. CMYK, that's cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And essentially they're semi-transparent inks when they overlap, they can hit all the other colors, and they kind of run the gamut of what you see, but they don't hit everything that your screen can. The pixels on your screen have way more color range than inks will, and that's kind of the great um, bottleneck in doing anything digital and going to print is that you don't necessarily get a one-to-one on the printout that you get. So what you may see on your screen is not necessarily what you're going to get on print. Digital, there's no worries on that pretty much. There are differences in displays, everything like that, but I think most of it's kind of worked out at this point. But yeah, registration, like even your colors on the cyan, yellow, magenta, black, you would see that in the old comic books where like you see the colors like kind of outside the boundaries of what they should be. They don't quite mix right. Um, that's all because the plate was like offset at the printer when they did that. And so when it comes to separate pages and they get bound to it into a book, there's a lot of room for error on that. And you got to have a place that knows what you're doing, and you got to set up your your print file. I've never handled anything on that end, but I at least am aware of it. You got to set that up just right to make sure you don't fuck that up. And I'm not so sure people are on the ball about that. I'm still sharing Wonder Island. Oh yeah, Final Boss, man. This thing looks fucking awesome. That's the other one I thought I had open, but I didn't open. And I'll share that one. That looks fucking awesome. And I saw Ethan mention it. There's somebody who wasn't necessarily Comicsgate, and I'm not like a diehard on that whole thing. I pledge allegiance to the hotness, guys. I'm stealing that from some other YouTuber. Flossie Carter, I don't know if you guys watching. He does like phone reviews, tech reviews, like earbuds, speakers. I recommend him just because he makes it edible for people who aren't like tech geeks and everything like that. There's people who go into the minutia of specs and what it means, and they'll break it down for dummies like me too. But he just like lives it in a very entertaining fashion. Flossie Carter, look him up. I'm kind of in the market for a new phone right now. Mine is kind of starting to glitch up on me, do stupid shit. So I'm looking hard at a new phone, and I might wait till the Black Friday deals to pull the trigger on that. But yeah, he has a thing of pledging allegiance to the hotness, and I agree on that, man. That's what we should be all about. But the art looks really freaking good on it. Oh, look at that. I didn't even see that, the animated GIF. Is that a GIF or a real stuff? That's a long GIF it is. And they eat up so much space on my program. And I got a bit of a summer cold too. Last week I picked the cold, so I'm not sure if you're hearing that either. Yeah, I mean, it's just splash pages so far. It looks a little too good to be true here, but maybe it could be done. Which was the actual T-shirt. Some kind of early, some better, closer to print. Trading cards. All right. But I saw, yeah, some of these shots. It's pretty cool. I mean, he's got some art talent. I would condense all this shit down, man. I don't know. Like, I'm just scanning here. I guess this is a good synopsis. When video games encompass God, you get $9. All right. And there's a Ryan Otley cover. I like Ryan Otley. I dig the Invincible. I kind of consider it a good standard to look at least for the first like 50 issues. It kind of fell apart. I don't think Robert Kirkman does well in long series. Like he's good at initial ideas, good like setup, all that. But when it comes to like carrying it out, finishing it, well, I mean, Walking Dead, I lost interest around the governor arc. Um, I think I kind of dabbled in it up to Negan. I was like, this is like the next Psycho, the next Psycho, the next Psycho. And then in terms of the show, it was like uh, Rick Grimes' next mental breakdown and recovery, the story, the show. Um, and I heard people's initial complaints about season two. I actually like season two. I think it had more zombie elements than people give it credit for. I think it was one of the most solid finales the show had. Up till like season three, episode 5 or so. Whenever Lori died, they raided the prison. Lori died. Dude, it was just like I think one of the best runs of the show. I guess the only thing you really go on its level is uh, Game of Thrones. Its first 3 seasons were pretty tight too. Um, but I don't know. Maybe Breaking Bad. I like Breaking Bad first 4 seasons pretty well. Last season wasn't too bad either, but it seemed packed on for me. Booth cover. All right. I mean, is there a close up of this? These covers? Doesn't seem like it. I would probably make a bigger picture of that, but it looks pretty tight overall. Yeah. That's all I really have to go on about this new comic book campaign or Indiegogo campaigns. New, dude, it's saying they're new comments, but I'm at the bottom. Let's see here. Lord Sinatra. I was hanging out with Liam earlier today. Oh, Gargoyle. Fuck Liam Gray. There we go. I back digital. Yeah, I would be more for it too. Space is a luxury for me at the moment. I have so much shit, and I'm picky choosy about my campaigns I back anymore. I guess this is an addendum. El Bardo had said fuck Liam Gray and his false accusations. I don't follow the guy. Even know. No, but I feel like he attracts drama, and I thought bad things were coming when he went into the whole drama route. Like he was the guy who was like covering the whole like war campaign, grievances and everything with the community at large, Ethan, Cecil, John Malin, Anna. Like he was the Jerry Springer hosting it. I was like, dude, unless you want this to be good, I would not be taking it. Like, it's one thing if you just happen to have one, man, we were there live on the scene for that. It's another thing when like you're gearing yourself up for it. So you're gonna make, I think, friends and enemies no matter what you do. No matter how neutral you try to play it. And I don't know how I played it. I couldn't stand to really listen to that stuff. It was just so mind-numbingly annoying to hear like everyone's last lame opinion input sometimes on stuff. I think there are people more central who maybe you had a point, but man, you heard everything in those things, man. I just want to see him win at least once. Are you talking about Liam? Lord Sinatra? I think he did alright on Xenotype. I have the Xenotype manga edition, wherein it's the weirdest printout I've ever seen in my life, and I can't believe that it hit press and he was okay with it. I feel like he just ordered the books and realized, oh shit, these are fucked up, but there's no way I'm gonna be able to get replacements, man. Like the print quality wasn't so bad, but I started reading it from the back like a manga would be, though, and then I realized, I think by this, I don't know this tells anything about me, um, and my ability to discern stuff. I was like, okay, I guess we're hitting the ground running on some elements here. I don't. I kind of remember seeing some of these things, but not all of these things. Uh, I started at the end of the book, and I worked my way through the last two issues, and I was kind of like, man, like I'm not really getting how this whole thing is breaking down. I was thinking of some kind of Memento, Tarantino-esque kind of thing, like we're getting front-loaded with information that we'll figure out later on. And then by the time I think I was into, I think it's 8 issues, isn't it? 8 or 10 issues. Well, 13 last one. I started like there was something that was like, okay, clearly these are narrative events that like this stuff on the left happens before the right, and then I was just like, well, let me go to the front of the book and see what that is. So it starts at the front, and then you read, you read right page, left page, flip, right page, left page, flip, and I'm like you're reading the normal English book, and I'm like, wait, what? I knew it was fucked up. I just didn't know how it was fucked up, and then I'm reading through it, and yeah, the silver edition was fucked up. Yes, yes, it was. In most instances, it's kind of like a win. In most instances, because it's like, oh, they try, like most major places would shred that shit up and give you an actual bona fide legible copy. And I don't know. I'm not looking to make enemies at all anywhere, and I don't know what it's like to set up a print file and everything like that. I just think, man, I don't know if you could come up with a worse reading process, like ever. Like I don't know. Like you could design a worse one, but you'd really have to work at it. It was just bad. It was bad. And the color edition was actually in order. I don't know what to say. That's a huge, huge fuck up. It's the kind of thing that I would be very leery of, cognizant of. I hope, man. Like that's what proof copies are for. How did you miss that? But yeah, let's see. That's the one that I ordered. It was a silver edition. That's what I got. I haven't gone back and tried to reread it. Yeah, that could definitely use a fix for sure. Sorry, a little parched there. Trying to sip of water. And then a sip of tequila in the 1800s. I had 2 color cans of Red's Harder Black Cherry, which is 8%. I can't do less than 8% from most drinks just because they don't do anything to me. It's like juice. Unpopular people don't scare me. Oh, I'm not scared. I just don't. I'm not looking to pick fights, man. A lot of people are. I would feel embarrassed if I put that out. Like it's. Yeah, I know. It's close. Yada yada. I give people a chance to make up. I'm like, yeah, same here, man. I don't need any more in my life at this point. Especially like people I don't really interact with. I should read this out loud actually. Since I'm doing the same thing I did last stream. Wilfred Hunter says, I give people a chance to make up, I don't like hold grudges. And I concur, man. Like get along to get on, man. That's how I feel. I'm probably gonna solo this tonight, and yet I don't know that I have the endurance like I did the other night. I just kind of came in guns a-blazing, no real plan in mind, no greater cause in mind than to just shoot the shit. And I don't think that's so bad either. What I'm going to do right now is look up Twitter. I want to see their trending. One of the things that just drives me up a fucking wall in general is just seeing the trending stuff. You see, on Chrome, I don't sign in anything, so I don't run any issues when I share a tab. Um, but Twitter has like its what's happening. Federal judge rules DACA unlawful. See Space Jam movie. Mark would one. I have no idea what that is. Something. If anyone doesn't want to get vaccinated, we will let them go. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. What happened to my body, my choice? Isn't that the fucking drum everyone was beating? And literally, it is your body, your choice. You know, it's not like the life inside of you and your choice. I don't know. Fucking. There's times where I feel like we need courage, man. I'm not saying we bring it on ourselves, but you know. But yeah, that and the YouTube trending page when you go to it, it's just I'm pretty sure I can bring that up in the film. I'm just like, what the hell is this shit? There's a number of things I'm sure I'm not touch on, but a lot of it's the mainstream bullshit they push on you. Oh, it's figuring out the actual YouTube page for suggestions. But I guess there's not trending on YouTube. Dude, I hate this like whole separate experience you get from web page, browser experience to app experience. Apps just fucking suck, dude. I run an Android, and I meant to bring this up another time. I use a thing called NewPipe. It's a downloadable program. I have no idea how safe it is. You won't find it in the Google Play Store and all that bullshit. No one approves of it, but it gets around all the ads. It lets you like mess with the pace, the speed, the tempo, and video settings. You can download. You can choose to subscribe without actually logging into any account whatsoever. You can make your own playlists. It's just like really. It gets around all the bullshit. The app experience that YouTube gives you, which is crap. It's absolute crap. Good to see you, Lou. This is what Lou from After Seas. That these are deranged. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I did like a double back. I grew up in like I wouldn't say like an overly conservative house. Like, yeah, my parents were conservative, and I think my mom was more left and my dad was more right. But they really didn't try like indoctrinating me, pushing things on me. I didn't really have like a rebellious phase just because I never felt like I was being like locked in, tied down. And then I went to college, and like I went a little more left, and I kind of stuck there for a while, and then just watched the left crumble. Like in the late 2000s, early 2010s, teens, like they just like lost the plot completely, and it's like this is just fucking like why can't we just accept the reality the way it is? And ever since then, it's just like been growing and growing. New dogma, essentially. Their dogma of like this quote unquote science, you know. But it ignores all sorts of things. Like all of a sudden, what was conspiracy theory a year ago was Trump. It's politicized science, man. It's all weaponized, politicized science. You know, the fact that Trump suggested this stuff may have come from China and their research labs. It doesn't even necessarily have to be like a weaponized version of the virus, just one that they were researching on for other purposes that leaked. You know, it doesn't have to be necessarily nefarious. There's all sorts of instances of their factories, warehouses, and things not meeting conditions the store stuff. I mean, we've seen the explosions take place. We've seen it here in America too, man. I'm pretty sure there was some fertilizer production factory or something that blew up. Um, I remember seeing something about that. I think that was the United States, but I remember seeing some chemical plant blow, like blow the fuck out. I mean, wipe out over in China. There was like the on the ground cam, like the explosion happens like at the horizon line that they could see and works all the way back to them. And there were people like in like some high rise building like way across the way. We just filmed this thing. It was just like you would like, holy shit, that's a huge explosion. Holy shit, that's a bigger explosion. Holy, like they get to the point where it's like, yeah, we need to get inside, get the fuck out of here, because like it keeps building, it keeps growing. Clearly, the standards are lower, and I've heard all sorts of stories from people. My dad worked construction. They immigrated here from somewhere, where it's kind of like what the deal was. They were the engineer or inspector or whoever on site, and like, essentially somebody from their company or on the team or whatever would say, yeah, we don't need you to come in on Monday, which was code for don't come in on Monday, because whatever happens then, you're just going to sign off on like everything's completely kosher, everything's completely on the level. You know, and that was when like, you know, these whatever, you know, we're going to downgrade the quality of stuff. We're going to fill in this spot over here. Just not meeting code, or who knows, even maybe like varying actual like narcotics bodies. Who knows? There's just a criminal element, and it was just suggested like it's for your own good that you don't show up. And you know, I think in America that happened too, but it kind of, we worked it out, and we're working our way back into it under different fucking circumstances, man. It's crazy. Notifications are trash, LOL. What's up, everyone? What's up, Mitchell? Nice to see you again, my friend. Hope all is well. Are you still, you're fixing things, right? And you were like in school, or you were like, you have a job, man? If you have a job, good for you, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck it is. No one wants to fucking work. And what the fuck where are these handouts? Where are these handouts? I want some. You know, if they're going to be there, I'd like some. I'm in the suffering workforce, man. Welcome, welcome. So, Lord Sinatra responds, hey, Mitchell, welcome. Yeah, man, Mitchell is old school. He was on a Rotten Glory stream, dude, when COVID was in effect. Mitchell was hardcore into it. And, you know, then the lockdowns rescinded. I don't know what is going on. This is the craziest thing, man. We were talking about this Delta variant. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Like this is not like some long-standing virus that's finally locked in place that you can just like cull out of existence. I think even smallpox, there's been enough people hanging out, not taking the vaccination in very, very remote areas, that it possibly doesn't work. But it's like, largely that's not an issue. Like it was pretty locked in. I believe this was from the lab, but no solid proof. But it seems to fit all the criteria of what they were researching in that region, that lab, where it broke out of. And you know, the coronavirus isn't exactly like unknown to us. Like, it's known to us. We have all sorts of viruses around us all the time. You had a 99%-ish rate of surviving, you know, under like what, 40, maybe 50. I don't know the exact rates going up, but we're not talking like, you know, everyone on your block. You know, there's someone on your block who's going to die from this thing. You know, like If it was truly detrimental, that would be a whole nother case. But this was not that. And we got well past that data point a long time ago. But yeah. And Mitchell responds, thanks at Lord Sinatra. I mean, catch streaming with you and J Money. He misses. So wait, Lord Sinatra, are you like regular with J Money, like co-hosted? No problem, Mitchell. Thanks for telling me. Is what Lord Sinatra says. Yeah, man. I don't know what happened to J Money. I thought he was doing his own thing. I see him around, man. He's still mixing. Their regular names like catch on the fly around here. Oh man, I feel like I'm really struggling to keep this conversation. Not like the other night. I went on for like 2 hours, no problem. The other night, I was loaded in more ways than one. I'm partly loaded tonight. Mitchell says my job involves so much travel, no choice in my vaccinations. Either get it, or you get no work. Yeah, you know that's something I don't have that issue. Although, dude, before the lockdowns happened and COVID was a thing, with the Cancun trip and the travel site organization is like extended out like this. Rain check, I guess, that you know that's extended up to this point, and I don't know. We could probably keep going forward, but looking to cash it in this year, and there's like all these Mexican government stipulations on travel that might be a huge snag, and it's about just COVID tests in general. And as I understand it, some of them will test people positive constantly on some of, I think, the vaccinations or the antibodies in your system will read like that way. I'm not positive about this. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. But it's based on like your test, and you know it's like, well, so if I come back positive, I can't leave your country. You can't let me travel. I paid another 2 weeks to stay up in the hotel. It's gonna fucking bankrupt me, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. It freaks me out. And I don't even know if vaccinations are foolproof in it, you know, like keeping you safe from it sort of thing. I don't have it yet just because I got it last year. I made it all right. I feel fine and like taking my chances against it again. I swear to fucking God, everyone is gonna have to deal with this fucking thing until there's a legit like flu vaccine sort of implementation of this COVID vaccine. You're just gonna deal with it. Guess what? It's an evolving virus. It's across the entire human population, probably plus. It's probably across animal populations too, and it's mutating throughout it. There's no stopping it, man. There was no stopping it from the time it escaped into the global market, quote unquote. Like it was incubating amongst us from then on. I'm kind of curious, Mitchell, if you had any drawbacks, man. Like if you dealt with any side effects. J Money, who as a fan, who as a fan, who as a fan. What Lord Conscious said. He didn't say it that many times. I repeated it. He just said it once. I was just emphasizing it. Mitchell says, J Money was telling me to check out Sinatra. He comes through sometimes. J Money or Sinatra? And Mitchell says, as long as there are similar side effect illnesses, it's going to be large guarantee. Yeah, you know, and the thing is like there's so much of this stuff where it's mandating this stuff. I mean, there's all sorts of travel restrictions and vaccines that people have to get up with. I know people who come to America have to take a number of them, immigration status and everything like that. But this is the first time we've ever had this kind of tracking, this kind of resolution of a picture of like the variants, the whole fucking thing, all the restrictions, the lockdowns, the mask guidelines, distancing, everything that's been on hand, it's still amongst us. And you know, every time someone gets on their fucking ivory tower looking down at the rest of the world like we did it right, Not like a couple months later, they're on fucking lockdown again. I'm sorry, but get it done and over with. Figure it out. This half measured bullshit just doesn't cut it for me. Um, if we're gonna lock down, just fucking lock down. Um, we're just slitting the throats of all businesses, small, medium, I would say at this point. And I've seen in my own work, uh, which is a major company, supply line, supply chain, um, on the downslope. Not to mention, dude, one of my drinks of choice, soda drinks of choice, Cherry Coke Zero, man. I can't fucking find it anywhere. I used to find it everywhere I went. I could find it 2 liter, I could find it cans, I could find it in bottles. This fucking thing has disappeared off. I don't know what it is about the fake cherry flavoring. It is gone. It's gone. And it's driving me up a fucking wall trying to find this thing at places. Like every now and then I'll see it trickle in. And it's kind of like grab it while you can. Um, I would always wait on, you know, buy one get one free kind of deal or something, but before I pick these things up. Now it's kind of like if I see it, I buy it, and I don't think it's that Nintendo esque like approach to their systems and games and stuff, where they would like only print so many, release so many, to instill that like um, want and need in people. There's a number of things like commodities I remember seeing fairly frequently. The McDonald's got rid of the all day breakfast menu, man. That's the only thing they really did good. Gone, gone. You stuck with their trash lunch and dinner menu. Past about 10:30 or something. Um, I know small things, but I think these are the casualties at large. Where everyone feels the effects of it all. I guess it's just the national global sacrifices we make, as a people in these trying times, man. I used to love cherry Dr Pepper. Yeah, that too, dude. I'm telling you, all East Side cherry flavors, which were not unpopular, by the way. It's not as if they weren't. Since I was a kid, I remember seeing these flavors. Not necessarily the diet 0 calorie versions of themselves. But there's always like a cherry Dr Pepper, cherry Coke, um, cherry Pepsi at some point, and like it never wavered. There's like I've seen this like orange vanilla Coke, um, mango lime, like all these like other like citrusy flavors come and go, in and out. Some places got them, some places don't, and you're just kind of like, man, who's at their marketing department or flavor department pushing this shit, man? Just deliver on these other ones. But cherry, man, it's been in disappearance around me, man, and I don't think it's like I'm in the fringes either, as far as like where you think they would deliver to. I like to think I'd be in that vicinity. Never settle for 23 flavors, we can get 24. There you go. 23 flavors in Dr. Pepper. That drove one of my friends nuts. He saw that Jim Carrey movie, 23. I think it was called 23. It was all about him seeing the number 23 everywhere. I know that was like the plot line, and ever since then, he hated any instance of it, and I would take every pleasure in pointing out every last portion it could, and he loved Dr. Pepper. He always had Dr. Pepper or the store brand thereof. So I think there's been ones like Dr. Thunder, like I'm talking about like, your grocery stores and department or mega department stores like Walmart, Target, like their stuff. And Dr. Pepper sings 23 flavors. He already knew about it. He's like, yeah, I'm well aware. It has 23 flavors too. But yeah, I love giving my friends shit. And so if I can It's because I feel like we're close on a level, and I feel like we could, but I got to get to know you better to really give you shit. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna check my Twitter again. I sent Inkspots a link. I go along with Inkspots. I like Inkspots. I think he's good. He's good live stream material. You just have to get him. You have to drag his ass in. I think he's way more receptive to not being the host, not having the weight of carrying the string. Um, I think he appreciated me on some level for the times I would irresponsibly or responsibly carry on the string, just so he just would just sit back and watch and mute me or boot me if he had to. That's going back to the El Barbo comment. Where was it? His comment on casting couch. Yeah, correct. I always remember you. Lucius and Tony and Shay on the casting couch. Shay, yeah, would hang out with us on F Monday streams every now and then. And I was late to that game, so I would say I hung out with them more than she hung out with us. He seems super. Mitchell says Inks is funny. He seems super busy nowadays, so I think he just gave up on the live stream game. Like, I don't think he minds being a guest spot if his life schedule allows it. Dude, that's kind of what booted me out. Like, I get a holiday season crunch with what I do, and 2019 it was like soul draining, everything for me, and this last year especially so because one of the main people I worked with got a cancer diagnosis and had to leave like just a couple months prior, and left a lot more workload on my shoulders. It just drained me, dude. It just fucking drained me. And I think I'm like in a way still coming back from that. It's just because it was like you work your way back from that. It's still like a missing spot, man. Like I'm filled in for it. It's just I don't have like that crazy holiday crunch load. But I'm looking at getting out of it, freeing myself up a little bit, and not have that weight, burdensome weight on my neck. I'm gonna reload my YouTube because I'm sure somebody's streaming. Somebody's gotta be going live at Friday night at 9 o'clock. It doesn't seem like it though, man. I was sure Ethan would be streaming. No one's streaming. I guess maybe they're clearing the path up for Camel Moon later in the night. I think he's later in the night. Like around midnight, 1 a.m. I actually kind of dig the camel. I think it's Camel Nights is what he calls it. I'm not much of one for trivia, and I like the fact that he makes the trivia just so hated by all. That it's just disdained by everyone participating and watching. It's kind of how I feel about trivia in general. Not that I mind quizzes so much, but I don't know, like just general trivia things. Like I had an ex who was really into bar trivia stuff and crosswords, and I was like, what's the point, man? She was good at them. If it's your thing, I'm not going to knock you. It's just like interests me, not in the least. Generic trivia stuff, and like on Jack's show, like at this point, Star Trek trivia is being played out. Like when that comes up, and you're just like, oh my god. I guess this is a point where I can do something else. If I'm watching live, or like if I'm watching it on the replay, I have fast forward functions involved. Like I'm just skipping through until the point it seems like it's over. Just close close to zero interest on it, if not negative. Um, Kind of curious how you guys feel about that. Um, yeah, we'll see if I can push on the having live shows thing. I'm at least made it over an hour at this point. I feel okay with that. I wish I had more than my avatar to kind of do. I'm not rushing. I'm not gonna potentially die myself, but went over some Indiegogo campaigns. I feel like there's enough of that. I'd rather do like generic everything, which is I think like Camo Moon kind of does in a way too. Although I don't think we can ignore the politicalization of shit at this point. Just because it's so saturated into all the content you have to consume anymore. You can't just fucking be. You can't just be dude watching this. You got to be white dude with privilege watching this, or victim minority watching this. Blah 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 blah. There's it's sick. It's fucking like trivia and stuff. It's fun, but I don't know about generic trivia. Yeah, I don't know. I've done some couple trivia things, and like I don't know, it's kind of like a weird dick measuring contest in my and my thoughts. Especially when it gets obscure and like what Hamilton does is like it's a riddle rather than just a straight up question like who did blah blah blah. What was the movie that just like an actual factoid. Like what crossword puzzle clues are and stuff like that. I don't know. I have better things to do with my time. I feel like not that much better, really. But, I feel like I do. But I don't mind. What I prefer is somebody who might take a trivial subject and throw it at you in an interesting fashion. Even though I think like Ed Piskor kind of acts like an asshole, and has done ass-fooly things with people in Comicsgate. The Cartoonist Kayfabe channel, I can't deny, covers like a range of like creators, subjects, storylines, books, and presents them in an interesting fashion. Things that I probably would never have been interested in. They just present it, go over it, dissect it, review it in a way that makes it interesting, even though I never saw it in my life before. That I kind of feel so somebody who has like a passion and a view that might lead to an enlightenment that you would have just stopped before on it. But just generic, like I know that like things like how many engines are on the back of a thing, who was the most repeated actor in this show. Like I don't, trivial by all means, trivial, and it's stuff that's like a Google search will do. I don't need to actually. This is literally information I don't need to hold. I think there's a lot of putting too much into the Google database, like not retaining enough knowledge retention is something that is very hard to find anymore. And it kind of makes sense. It is like taxing to keep all that shit in your head. But if things had to be remembered, I could care less about Star Trek trivia or even like they did 90s versions, which I dig the 90s. But I had a better chance at answering that. But even then, I'm not a big fan of trivia. I'm going to take a quick browse Wikiloo through the comic section here on Indiegogo. We could go over the Cyberpunk figures if you'd like. I don't think we have to do that. I think there's enough that going around. She Omnibus, I'm kind of interested in that, but it's says funding launching soon. Okay, but it has it under funding. That's weird. Um, I was thinking, if I get big enough, and I can host people and grill them on their campaigns. I'd love to do it in a way because I really think I could pull off like disinterested, sell me on your shit persona. But I think I would be brutal about it. I'd have to make sure they knew full well before we really went over it. Like, just so you know, I'm really, really, really gonna downplay the importance of your campaign. It's gonna be like you have to justify your existence completely. I don't think that would hurt people so much though. Man, there's not a lot on the, at least the initial campaigning. A lot of them are open for me. Still waiting on them books, man. Keep them free to us. Let's see here. Mitchell says if you like the subject or open to trivia, subject trivia is fun. The subject's not just trivia is kind of boring. Well, I mean, that's the thing about trivia nights on bars and stuff like that. I'm just like, I guess it kind of sucks in that, like, in a way, everyone sort of comes in knowing that, or a number of people do, and you can't just like. I guess you could hold a conversation, but it's not in the same fashion as if it was just like a regular bar night or something like that. And then if you're like me, where you don't care about trivia, but the people around you do, and you're there with them, and it becomes your thing, and you're just like, you feel like an idiot or dummy or just like completely out of place. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna waste we're gonna waste our whole night on like these 30 questions and racking our minds and double questioning ourselves, and I'm just gonna like there's the for me like one of the things I hate is when like there's somebody and they meet up with somebody they know and they have that like 10-year backlog history with that person, and they start going over like their whole history, high school or something, and like you guys never crossed paths before, and you just have to sit there and listen to things you have no relation to, you can't really jump in on, chime in on, ask more about. Like it's just kind of like all ethereal to you, and that's how I'd feel if I was at like a trivia night as a side subject. She was late, I think, for like a weekish. Yeah, I think there was some consideration on other projects or something like that. But yeah, I would be up for find out the backlog of some of those projects. It included Dale Keown. I saw Joe Sontag. He was I think it was he posted like art reviews of like the first issues of that. He has two separate streams up with those, and like that was something I missed out on. Like I missed the boat on the Marvel / Image Crew back in the early '90s. Like I came in right after that on comic books, so like I knew of those things, but at that point, a lot of those artists like kind of like punched their ticket at Image and sort of like took their sweet time about things, and they weren't like the hottest thing in comics. But comics were still hot into the mid '90s. You could pretty much go anytown USA and find a comic book shop filled with like back issues, current issues, special issues. Like it was just, I would say, up to 96, 90, maybe 97, and it was pretty lucrative or well-to-do enough, man. Like you could just kind of pop into any reasonably sized town and find a comic book shop and get hoarse. Sorry. Ugh. Sorry for all those throat clearing noises, man. I hope you guys, most of you, watch this in 1.5 speed. But yeah, anymore, even all the shops around me, they're gone. Like I don't know how comic books are being sold anymore. Um, but yeah, I missed out on those creators and their stuff. Because I think it was kind of like flash in the pan for the most part. Like it was just interested in following the creators rather than like it was actually a hot product. I think Spawn had had the most likelihood of like carrying through. I think it was a good initial premise, great art, and Todd brought in Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore. I think he brought in Alan Moore to write like a few years, so it's fun. And Neil Gaiman, I believe, created Angela, and that created a huge lawsuit later on. But he brought in good talent and was really pushing his book. Was really trying to make it happen. I think he had the most drive to make it work, and I think it had like that '90s gritty. Like I remember, like No Fear being a thing. WWF, not WWE, but WWF had like the Attitude Era for South Park. Like it was all about kind of being edgy. I feel like Spawn kind of rode that wave without being like too hard. But it didn't pull back either from like horror, gore elements and things like that. Um, but I just don't think they ever gained the acceptance uh, quite far enough for me to get into them at that point. But I went back and looked into at least Spawn. Um, but yeah, I'd be interested in finding out about a lot of those guys' stuff. Let's see here. And Mitchell says, I've been watching all Source Bug in my era. I'm like 5-1 currently. Dude, that was like the 2000s for me and around here. Like there was 3 or 4 just depending on what else I was like going around shopping for. I would go to and look up. And there's also like books like DC and Marvel weren't delivering on time on a number of things, and like they would um, uh, on their next week's book list or whatever that you'd see online, they'd say, "Oh yeah, this book is like." I'm thinking of Ultimates, the All Star line, so All Star Batman and Superman from DC, but a number of their event books even too. New X-Men, I think, was one too. That's where I actually picked up on Ethan. Was New X-Men. He was one of the villain artists, and I thought he was the better one. That's where I remember from. Like, man, this Igor Cordy guy sucks. Like, his art, dude, was trash. It was pretty trash. I mean, trash. I would tell you guys to look it up just to see it, to see how bad it was. And I felt bad for him at first because like it seemed like Marvel was giving him they do a whole book, but according to Ethan, this guy was bragging about picking up all these books and getting page rates, on a pro book, like for this trash he was handing in, and it killed his career because people are like, this guy sucks. I remember reading the stories that he killed his career. I'm hearing these stories on his live streams like a year or 2 ago. It was one of the infamous like Zach being drunk like another animals, and Zach kind of cut him off like, oh, you don't understand. He was like, that's to feed his family. I'm like, shut up, Zach. I want to hear I want to hear the full story about this guy. But yeah, I remember seeing Ethan on that. I'm like, man, these aren't so bad. I've heard to see Frank quietly all the way through, but if I have to put up with this, I'm willing to put up with this. It's the first time I remember seeing Ethan get Skyrim, but New X-Men, I would think that would be one that maybe ran into release issues too. But like, as many times as they juggle through different artists on it. But I definitely know Ultimates was one, like, because I think I got the first trade and the second trade, and it was like years apart on those. Brian Hitch was unremovable, but slow. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, the mid 2000s, man, all the hottest books you could think of, Blaze, plenty. Um, and I guess maybe that's what we're looking at over here, but I don't. I'm happy for the pace. Like $20, $25 a book at least. I'm okay with waiting a little bit and not throwing a bunch of money at stuff. Um, Mitchell says, I've been reading my dad's notes for a long time, but like 2011-ish Nova and Journey into Mystery really got me into comics. All right, I'll look those up, man. That's about the point I completely dropped off the map uh, for comics. I was into it into the mid '90s. Around like '97, I just felt like, man, these just seem to be like um, circling the drain. Like there was nothing exciting going on for me. And it was like rehashed really weird shit. I guess I was hitting a cynical point that maybe even other people hit before me. Um, and then I got back into it in the 2000s. New X-Men was actually what put me back into it. Funnily enough, they actually tied in the title in a way to the movies. Like the whole streamline Grant Morrison did on New X-Men, get into like coincide team uniform was the story coincide with the X-Men movies that were released around that time. With Hugh Jackman and fucking Patrick Stewart and all that. I missed the parts of it. But but yeah, then again, like I jumped on the mid mainly because the comic book shops closed around me, man. Like I'm not gonna go way out of my way to get comic books. And most of at that time, comic book industry was pretty much like making the stories in 6-issue arcs, 12-issue bigger arcs, and depending on the contract with the writer and artist, you might get 2 trades in omnibus or something out of the totality of the work, and that was just the way it was divvied up. And I was, well, it's just going to get collected anyways. I wasn't like big on getting the floppies on their own, but if I felt like it was a hot story or a good story, and I wanted to get it, I would go to the comic shop and pick up, the next issue. And at that time, they were doing like the whole, like I was more into DC story than Marvel, and I'm pretty sure they kind of mirrored each other. And there would be like the regular cover, then like a pencil cover variant for the second printing, and another variant for the third, or if it hit that, they would change background colors, or have like Michael Turner was a huge variant artist on covers for stuff, and in the mid 2000s, man, like the comic book shops evaporated on me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just getting collector's editions now. And then by the time you're talking about 2011, dude, I wasn't even keeping up, and it wasn't until like I see these videos tearing apart the trash they were pushing in the mainstream. Your boy Zach and everything. Like I just didn't care. And then you see these guys going independent, and I'm on board in a way. I wish it was a little more regular as far as turnout, but like I said, I'm not looking to like empty my bank account every month just to get the books that I want, the stories that I want. But yeah, this whole like waiting a year, 2 years for the next installment. I don't think that's worth unless you're doing like very large collections. Turn your fan off. What is that noise? Are you in a vacuum? Is it really that fucking loud still? I mean, you guys complained up front, and I thought I solved that issue. Son of a bitch. Yellow Flash 2, thanks for coming in. I'm surprised to see you here. Actually, man, I didn't think the audio was that bad.
But it's hot as hell here, man. I can't. If I turn off the AC, I'm gonna be suffering hardcore. I guess I should suffer. I should suffer from my own work, right? I thought you were just running the Main Street. Oh, I'll have to listen back. Man, I don't think I had a different setup from before. Um, the last time I streamed, I didn't think it was that bad. But I understand bad audio issues were a thing. But I'm almost out of steam anyways here, guys. Like, in terms of talking on my own. I'm like parched. My mouth is dry. I don't know if that's killing it for you too. I'm gonna rewatch this tomorrow and be probably thinking the same thing as you guys. Fucking turn that shit off, man. I was just trying to read your stuff in full. So yeah, Yellow Flash, turn the fan off. What is that noise? Are you in a vacuum or something? Is that bad? Like a vacuum? I mean, it might sound like a fan. And Mitchell says I thought he was running clean stream. Oh well. I think some people are more audio specific, man. I've heard complaints on some stuff. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't have a pro setup. I don't have one of your fancy mics and all that. I did put something over the mic, and that might be messing with it, but I don't want to mess with it on the live stream. At any rate, I should probably kill this, man. I've been going an hour and 26 minutes according to my time. You gotta turn that AC off is what Flash 2 says. Oh, not today, my friend, not today, but maybe going forward. If it wasn't, dude, it's like 100 degrees, 90 degrees during the day, 80 degrees at night. If I turn it off, it's gonna just like be forever and a day to get it back to tolerable. Clean my cleaning, the fan is more noticeable than more, but I don't care. Son of a bitch. I usually try to put up like kind of a buffer so it's not directly against the mic, and I'm like over a ways. Notice I'm turning. Move it from. Hold on. Let me see. And I also have to worry about the power supply too. This thing's old, it doesn't last as long. Is that better? I know this is like fucking 101. I'm killing myself here. Let's do it now. Where there's only 3 or 2 people watching. That's what I say. But thanks, Yellow Flash, too, for coming in. I don't know if you've ever watched before, or How I Caught Your Eye. I'll be interested in hearing about that. Sorry, I'm killing it for you on the audio front. I promise I will try to improve. Last stream I did, I swear it sounds all right to me. And the only thing is, I did faintly better. Is what this is. It is on high right now. I could probably set it down to low and it would probably sound better. I remember it kind of being a thing when I was streaming last year, but usually where I'm at now is a much better position, not as in your face. And if I turn it on low, it was kind of non-noticeable. But I didn't think it was that bad, because usually the mic bar thing on this is like wobbling like crazy when it picks that up. And at the time too, I think I had a fan going on, and when the fan would go across the mic, I wouldn't know it. That's the thing, man. Like there should be like kind of a feedback loop. I guess. I'm not gonna fucking drag this any more than it's gone. Trying to just do this. This should have been done up front if it was that bad. I just can't believe you guys listen. Well, thanks for listening, then, guys. I promise you, it'll get better. And like I said, I think Wednesdays I'm gonna shoot for as a regular thing, but I'm gonna try to challenge myself to do every day, maybe half hour to an hour, man. Just make it quick, short, sharp. And like I said, if I get enough views, and if I mean, the hard thing is convincing people who could have better things to do coming on. I want to do like a hard sell, just like pounding into their campaigns and stuff. Like one of the things I really liked, I missed the fucker, Rotten Glory, on his midday repartee. I think he had one or two 30-second elevator pitches for your campaigns, and a lot of people like kind of figured out like whatever their main selling line wasn't as good as the selling line as they thought it was. And I would have been way harsher if I was one of the guest panelists on that shit. Like he did a whole 1 to 10 or something like that rating on people's stuff, and people I think were being just nice. And there's nothing wrong with being nice, but when it comes to a contest and there's prizes involved, and there should be some level of suspense, you need to leave some room to kind of like push the best person forward, and not just like deadlock it in and make it like hard for anyone to have a chance later on. But that's what I would want to do. Not necessarily like tearing somebody down, but justify yourself, man. Like really back up your whole product. Cecil sent me. Well, thank you, Cecil. I don't know if he's out there watching, but I'm not trying to tag him in as much. Like if I have something to promote and stuff, I usually try to tag him in, just so he can, put something up on his front. But yeah, thanks for coming in, by the way, Kevin Pete. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you anywhere else before, but I'll try to keep you in mind moving forward for sure. Biden disappeared before his time. Yeah. I talked about on the other ones, man. Like last December, he was looking at revamping his show, and midday, man. I think like that was a solid time slot. He would come on weekdays on like my time, 2 p.m. Eastern, which would be 11 West Coast Pacific time. Just a good like lunchtime slot, man. I could like kind of tune in, listen in, jump in on the live chat at least. If I had a day off, I could jump in on the actual live stream. And the guy was like 500 subs, man. Like he was doing solid. He would probably be 1,000 if he stuck with it. No one knows. No one knows. It's Comicsgate Unsolved Mysteries. What the fuck happened to Rotten Glory? I watch most CG, EVS, John Anna, Cecil Kelsey. Yeah, I think that's good entertainment value right there. There's too many for me to watch, Kevin. Those are the ones I usually kept up with. I really love Kelsey's shit, just because he does art demos and stuff like that. On top of it, it's kind of an entertaining fashion. Sadly, he's taken down some of his old videos and unlisted stuff, which is really annoying. If the team doesn't tweet out the YouTube address, it's hard to find it. And in a day, 2 days, from a Jack show, that stuff can get buried too. EVS is alright, but I prefer his guest and EVS streams to his EVS solo streams. Not that they're like intolerable. I said last time, and I still believe it. Long held belief. I think we're lucky that we have so many people that are just entertaining. A lot of people can be dry and just nothing to fucking say. And you think of, as much as I think Dale Keown worked with Ethan well, I don't know if he worked on his own well. He could grow into it. I think anyone can grow into it. A lot of people start off on the wrong foot, present company included. Mic issues, fan issues. I can't believe that. It's just, come on. If I don't talk, I look at that bar surrounding my face. It doesn't bother. I wouldn't have thought, guys. I wouldn't have thought. Sorry. But yeah, let's see. Kevin P follows up. She's trying to win against algorithm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's taking it more serious than I ever was.
But at a certain point too, like I would think fan base, all that, because you unlist the stream, and I think she's even privated them. That's kind of, I can understand that on the content basis. Like you got 100,000 plus subscribers, and you might be in danger of losing them keeping up that stream. Yeah, I might private it too. You lose the chat. Okay, that's one thing that goes out the window on any repost. And she has this other channel set up to it. I would just run off of that channel, keep it on that channel completely, if it were me. So at least you can keep that chat function in line. They're pretty good about highlighting comments, just like I did there, reading stuff relevant to their conversation. They've got it down pretty pat at this point. So I don't take too many points off on that front because I usually don't look into the live chat. But every now and again, I'd like to see it there. If it's unlisted, if I can't find that link somewhere, it's kind of lost in the ether. Kelsey had a really good stream recently, and I need to find the guy's stuff. He put it up on Odyssey because Kelsey took it down. I forget the exact circumstances on it, but it was a solid, very humorous stream, but very edgy too. And I was just happy to see somebody had watched it or put it up to Odyssey. I think I watched it before it got taken down. Oh, all right, guys. I am over an hour and a half. I'm glad I made it that far with you all. I think, though, I'm going to hit end broadcast. I had hoped to get ink spots in on here. Hopefully, I can talk them into being a regular guest. That's an order I can't, tall order I can't exactly promise you guys on, but be very cool. He is the Color Wrestling Cash Grab, and also he's doing other projects. Charlie's London. I think, I forget, it's Unhinged Art with his name, Jason. He did a frog character card that looked pretty cool. He colored that. He told me that they're going to make a book off of it because it resonated well enough. And yeah, he's actually like, honestly, YouTube live gold. Very entertaining guy, very funny, but also raunchy and completely lewd and debased and botched. But I enjoy that sort of thing. So hopefully we can make it a regular thing. I'm going to cut it here and enjoy the rest of my night. I'll probably be off over the weekend. I'll try to make Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in there. And I'll try to make it a little more advanced notice. I put up Dokes from the Dexter as my thumbnail, just because it was spur of the moment. I gave myself a little lead time to get something in order, but I hope to come in with more of an outline, more of a plan, all that jazz. It's good to see a lot of you guys still hanging in there, still watching me. Mitchell says later. Wish you the best. Take care. You too, my friend, and everyone else that tuned in. I will try to fix the fan AC issue. Like I said, it's fucking hot as hell and humid here, and it's a tall order. Just shut it off. But I might suffer in the future for you guys. So, catch y'all later. Thanks for coming in. And, as always, you can tune into Agile Smashers for my art and stuffs. And I hope to make this a more regular thing so we can get like a little dialogue going on here, a little back and forth, and we can grow together. Check it out. Oh, okay. Click end broadcast.